Thank you for joining us for this look at some of the best stories from KPBS News this week. I'm John Carroll. Local scientists are helping build the world's largest and most powerful magnet. We'll tell you what it's being used for. Plus, a cross-border artist is reacting to his work being called objectionable by the Trump administration, why he sees that as a distraction but with serious risks. And a centuries-old art form lives on in Tijuana. Meet the group that's brought opera to everyday people for the past 25 years. We begin with San Diego's efforts to build more housing. City planners recently drafted an update to the Claremont Community Plan, rezoning many strip malls and shopping centers for higher density housing. But KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen says the neighborhood near the Blue Line trolley stations would remain mostly unchanged.
So right now we're standing in the Home Depot shopping center. What I'm seeing right now is a lot of empty parking spaces.
Ian Grooms is a lifelong resident of Claremont. We meet at a shopping center at Genesee and Balboa Avenues, where city planners are proposing what they call a community village. Acres of asphalt could be replaced with a mix of apartments, retail, offices, and public plazas. Grooms is all for it.
I think it's important for us as a city to turn underutilized parking spaces into possibilities. There are so many people who can't even afford to live in Claremont. They can't afford this $1 million neighborhood.
Grooms developed an interest in urban planning after watching his neighbors rise up in opposition to a number of affordable housing developments in Claremont. We see one of them just across the street.
So many people were concerned about that development. They were concerned that it was going to, ruin the character of our neighborhoods. And then what is it doing? It's actually providing a roof over people's heads. It's allowing people who are at risk of homelessness to have a home at night.
Despite all the additional density proposed for central Claremont, the vast majority of the neighborhood would still be zoned for low-density single-family homes, including this neighborhood right across the street from the Blue Line trolley.
I feel it's more of a political capitulation than it is smart policy making.
Nicole Capritz is executive director of the nonprofit Climate Action Campaign. She recalls more than a decade ago, San Diego was debating whether to allow taller and denser development around the future trolley stations in western Claremont. Taxpayers were spending $2 billion extending the Blue Line, and the city wanted to let more people live within walking distance. But the backlash from homeowners was fierce.
People's belief in the worst case scenario from their perception sort of drove the conversation. And I think then it made the city uncomfortable and nervous and kind of shrink back.
Capritz appreciates the small pockets of density the city is proposing immediately adjacent to the trolley stops. But she says it's not enough. San Diego has one of the most popular light rail systems in the country, according to national ridership data. Banning apartments or even townhomes just a 5-minute walk from that transit doesn't make sense to her.
The city has goals around housing, which they're nowhere close to meeting. The city has goals for how they're going to reduce carbon pollution, which they're nowhere close to meeting. And we have this deepening affordability crisis. And so when you marry all of these challenges, the city can't respond with small fixes.
The debate over transit-oriented development is not isolated to Claremont. State lawmakers, frustrated by the slow pace of home building, have proposed SB 79. It would overrule local zoning to allow apartments of up to 6 stories within a quarter mile of a trolley stop.
We need more affordable housing in California, but Senate Bill 79 is not the answer.
This video from a group called United Neighbors shows AI-generated images of towers popping up in suburban neighborhoods.
SB 79 will impact everyone, everywhere. We don't need to ruin the neighborhoods we have to get the affordable housing we need.
We have valleys and different topography that only local people know.
Marcella Bothwell of Neighbors for a Better California says local planners know better than state lawmakers what their communities need.
When you're in Sacramento, you don't know what's going on the ground. You don't know the topography. You don't know the conditions or concerns. And so you have to listen to people who are living there.
I distinctly remember coming to this parking lot to pick out my Christmas tree every year.
As Ian Grooms enters the workforce, he's left wondering whether his life in Claremont will become just a childhood memory.
As somebody who just graduated college, It's extremely important for me to find an affordable home. I can't afford many of the homes in our region. And for me, this is about making sure that I can live in the city that I love and in the community that I love.
The Claremont Community Plan update is expected to go before the City Council in the fall. SB 79 awaits a vote in the State Assembly. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
Our Public Matters partnership recently did a series on housing in San Diego, where it is and isn't being built. You can find those stories and an interactive map on our website. Just go to kpbs.org/whose backyard. City crews are now cleaning up homeless encampments in areas of downtown San Diego that used to be out of reach. That also means outreach workers are offering shelter to more people. But KPBS reporter Katie Anastas says few are accepting.
For the last couple of years, more and more people have been camping along San Diego's freeways. On city sidewalks, they're told to move every couple of days. At on-ramps and underpasses, they found a way to stay for weeks at a time. City leaders say that gives people fewer opportunities to accept help.
If someone is left somewhere for months at a time, they build an area, they build a community, they build all this stuff, and it's really hard to get people to say, hey, would you like to drop all that right now and come to a place that you don't know? That's a very hard thing to get someone to do that's been out for a long time.
A new agreement with the California Department of Transportation is giving the city more access to those encampments. For the next year, the state will reimburse the city up to $400,000 for clearing encampments along 5 miles of freeway through downtown, Little Italy, Sherman Heights, East Village, and Barrio Logan.
Rather than doing like the whole San Diego area and having to contribute so many resources that we truly don't have to cover that many miles of freeway, we knew that we could at least commit to our hardest areas, which were downtown.
So far, the city says it's cleared 57 encampments and more than 88,000 pounds of trash along freeways. Just 16 people have accepted offers of shelter and support services.
I would say it is a low percentage that at this point are saying yes.
On a recent morning, city crews cleaned up trash and belongings left behind by campers on a patch of dirt next to an on-ramp to Interstate 5. Juan Carlos Rivera declined the offer of shelter. He didn't want to show his face on camera.
A lot of us got a lot of stuff. We're not willing to give up yet.
He says he's been homeless for a year and a half. He has arthritis in his knees and uses a wheelchair. He's already lost many of his belongings.
Like right now, I don't even have a tent. Somebody stole it.
Father Joe's Village's street health team also helps people like Rivera. Jenny Wilkins leads the team. She says their patients don't know where to go.
Shelter beds are not readily accessible. They're not always available, so it's not like they can just decide to move into shelter if there's no bed available. So it's been really just kind of a lot of tension in the community overall.
In the last year, the city's shelter system lost hundreds of beds, and just 12% of people referred to shelter got it. At the same time,
we saw the need increase by 15% over the year. Sorry, it's not better news.
San Diego is just one city with encampments near freeways and just one city working with Caltrans to remove them. Riverside announced a 2-year agreement with Caltrans earlier this month. Chula Vista is pursuing one too. In the meantime, San Diego's city workers are making their rounds, picking up trash and making contact with people living on the fringes. Katie Anastas, KPBS News.
Researchers are confirming pollution in the Tijuana River is also in the air. Environment reporter Tammy Murga says they're connecting it to headaches, nausea, and breathing issues.
Daniel Rees lives in Nestor, about a mile away from the Tijuana River. That's where researchers have measured the largest source of toxic gases and chemicals linked to sewage. He says the rotten egg smell impacts how he lives.
Usually when I come home at night, I try to take my dog, like you just saw, out for a walk once I get home. But it would get so bad that I was like, nope, we can't go back. We can't be going outside because I don't want to go to sleep with the headache. I'm just going to get like insomnia, even worse.
Rees has long suspected that these pollutants cause his headaches and ruin his walks with his dog Sokka. New research led by UC San Diego's Scripps Institution of Oceanography makes a link from those symptoms to toxic gases like hydrogen sulfide in the air. The community helped researchers identify where to look.
They started talking, to the community and hearing all of their experiences of headaches, nausea, they can't sleep, they have anxiety. And so this community just sort of They sort of triangulated the conversation and said, why are you at the ocean? It's over here. And they helped my group find what we now refer to as the hotspot.
Scripps professor Kim Prather is one of the study's co-authors. She says air pollution measurements collected last year at this hotspot in the river may help explain why and where pollutants become airborne.
When the flows of the river were high, that leads to turbulence. That turbulence looks just like a breaking wave. It's aerosolization. So that's a place where the aerosols and the gases can get out most efficiently.
Prather says the problem needs to be fixed. San Diego County Supervisor Paloma Aguirre agrees. She is calling on the San Diego Regional Water Quality Control Board and the county to reduce turbulence at the hotspot to lessen airborne hazards. Tammy Murga, KPBS News.
The San Diego company General Atomics is celebrating their shipment of a device that will make nuclear fusion possible. SciTech reporter Thomas Fudge tells us about the world's most powerful magnet.
The event took place in a building the size of an airplane hangar in Poway, attended by scientists and local VIPs. All the fuss was about this big round piece of metal.
General Atomics is working with an international team that is creating a fusion power facility in France, and they are sending to France a powerful tool that is pretty spectacular.
What is it? Well, imagine a magnet so powerful it could lift an aircraft carrier out of the water. The device on display at General Atomics was only 1/6 of the assembly. The other 5 parts will be stacked on top of it, making it the height of a 5-story building. Those 5 other parts are already on their way to France to the fusion plant called ITER. John Smith has been working on this magnet since it was conceived in 2011. He says the huge magnetic force is needed to contain fusion reactions like the ones that occur on the sun.
The plasma that is replicating what happens on the sun gets to 10 times hotter than the sun itself. And so how do you contain something that hot? So what we do is create a magnetic bottle with a series of magnets. It's a magnetic bottle that holds this plasma, which where the fusion reactions occur in order to keep it from touching anything and melting and burning things out.
Fusion energy is created by smashing atoms together, fusing them. The potential of fusion energy has been realized since the end of World War II, but today the goal seems within reach, and it means having a virtually limitless supply of clean energy. Smith says getting there is vital to running data centers for artificial intelligence and all those electric cars we're going to be driving.
Everything that we're doing today says our electricity demand in the world is only going to go up. That's why fusion is needed. You need to have some type of clean, limitless energy source to power the future of the world.
There are still technical challenges to figure out. Fusion energy also requires financial investments and construction of expensive power plants. But people at General Atomics say that financial support system is taking shape.
The fusion ecosystem is undergoing a rapid change. We have several private companies that are working closely with publicly funded organizations to really demonstrate a viable path to fusion energy in the 2030s.
Whenever fusion energy does become a reality, Congressman Scott Peters says San Diego has been a big part of it.
Our energy future is being written right here in San Diego, and I look forward to working with you to continue to support you to make that happen.
Thomas Fudge, KPBS News.
The traveling experience is about to change at San Diego International Airport. KPBS reporter Jacob Ayer has a sneak peek inside the new Terminal 1.
After nearly 4 years of construction, it's almost time to take flight from the new Terminal 1.
I've seen a bunch of the signs that they have everywhere saying that new terminals are going to come up, and I think that's very exciting.
Beatriz Arzate is a junior at UC San Diego. She just arrived back in town at the current Terminal 1. She says the new building will be a big upgrade.
Usually I'm flying out of Terminal 1, so I think that's why I'm most excited about it, because this is usually where I'm going, and it feels more like a treat to go to Terminal 2 since it's so much nicer, so I guess they'll be more even now.
For less frequent travelers, the new terminal also includes tons of parking and separate roadways for departures and arrivals. It's all part of the $3.8 billion construction project. This upcoming opening is Phase 1A, which includes new gates, many new restaurants and stores, plus a lot more space. The airport's Nicole Hall calls it light and bright.
When that existing Terminal 1 opened in 1967, we had 2.5 million people come through that airport. It was never designed to service and manage the number of travelers that we had in 2024, that just under 10 million.
Even if you're not traveling soon, you can come see it. There's a community open house on Sunday, September 14th from 9 a.m. to noon.
We want to see people explore and enjoy the artwork, see the additional
Veterans from across the country are in San Diego this week for the VA Summer Sports Clinic. Military reporter Andrew Dyer checked out one of the events in Coronado.
This is way out of my comfort zone. I don't tend to socialize very much anymore.
Army veteran Rodney Johnson is pretty new to adaptive sports. Johnson lives in rural Wisconsin and uses a wheelchair. For the first time earlier this year, he took part in the VA's wheelchair games. That's when he was offered a spot this week in San Diego for the Summer Sports Clinic.
But here I could feel comfortable. There's nobody judging me.
Johnson's one of 150 disabled veterans in town trying out a variety of adaptive sports, such as surfing, sailing, and kayaking. Johnson and about 24 other veterans are going cycling. The nonprofit Wounded Warrior Project sponsors this event. Marine Corps veteran Mike Owens is the nonprofit's director of adaptive sports. He says getting active can be life-changing for people living with disabilities.
You hear about people that maybe touched cycling a few years ago, and now they're being re-engaged in it to get more mobility. And then individuals like myself, where it just completely changed their lives. They love cycling. It is their whole world back home and here.
Air Force veteran Tessa Grauman lives in Richmond, Virginia. It's her first time at a VA sports clinic, and she says it's opened up a lot of new possibilities.
I'm definitely looking forward to surfing, and it's something that you never thought you would do or you never thought you could do. And I'm old now, so the idea of doing new things didn't seem like it would be possible, maybe.
Johnson says the clinic gives the veterans a chance to create their own community.
The overall thing that I found with both the wheelchair games and this here is to be able to talk to the vets and listen to the different stories, and then look at some of the guys and what they're dealing with, their adaptability, and I look at mine and go, oh, I can do this. And that's what kind of inspired me up to get back into cycling.
Grauman says it's more than what she expected.
Surprisingly, I thought that learning how to do all the activities was going to actually be the highlight, but I've been here just a couple days and I feel like I've just made lifetime friends.
Johnson says he hasn't felt as connected since he was on active duty.
Stepping out of my comfort zone and coming here, and then meeting familiar faces and meeting new faces, we all have something in common, so it's easy to connect with these guys and ladies. So that's what I really like about it, is just the camaraderie. It kind of gives you the feel about being back in the service, where you've got your backups, you've got your friends. These guys will be there for you.
The Summer Sports Clinic runs through this week. Andrew Dyer, KPBS News.
The Trump White House recently published a list of artwork in Smithsonian museums in Washington, D.C. that it deems objectionable. Julia Dixon Evans spoke to one of the artists who sees the actions as a distraction with serious risks.
Cross-border artist Hugo Crosthwaite was commissioned by the Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery to create a portrait of Dr. Anthony Fauci, which was unveiled in 2022. As a stop-motion animation, it's unusual for an official portrait, but Crosthwaite says the format is perfect for someone with a legacy like Fauci, spanning the HIV/AIDS epidemic to COVID-19.
And it's me placing him in history and not just, standing him out of history.
Earlier this month, the White House announced a comprehensive review of Smithsonian museums to ensure the institution, quote, celebrates American exceptionalism and removes divisive or partisan narratives. Last week, the White House posted an article titled, "President Trump is Right About the Smithsonian," listing works and programs focused on race, immigration, and sexuality, including Crosthwaite's stop-motion portrait.
I got the feeling that even the Trump administration hasn't even seen the portrait. It seemed to me like they just saw, oh, this is about Fauci, then we hate it.
Crossthwaite says the move is designed to instill fear, but believes that governmental control of art could lead to significant consequences.
It's this idea of that trying to rewrite history, trying to erase our diverse experiences, our diverse history. They want the general public to forget the ills of our past, and to follow an agenda that is not based on the realities of the United States, of our nation. And the danger of that, of course, is that we're condemned to repeat terrible mistakes if we don't look objectively at our history.
The upside, Crossthwaite says, is that the controversy is bringing more attention to the art and its message.
And I think that truth and beauty in the end is going to win.
Julia Dixon-Evans, KPBS News.
The San Diego Zoo is mourning 3 longtime residents, a polar bear, a giraffe, and a gorilla. KPBS arts producer Anthony Wallace shows us a mural painted as a memorial.
San Diego Zoo officials said the past 2 weeks have been one of the most challenging periods in recent memory. On August 14th, Kaluk, a 24-year-old polar bear, and Nikki, a 28-year-old Maasai giraffe, were euthanized after mounting health problems. 4 days later, the zoo lost Maka, a 30-year-old gorilla, after a cardiac event. Paul Jimenez of Ground Floor Murals decided to honor them with a new mural.
I've been going to the zoo since I was a child, and they're roughly the same age as I am, so I pretty much grew up with these animals, so I felt a connection, and I just felt a strong obligation to paint these guys.
Jimenez and his group Ground Floor Murals are busy with commissions from local businesses. But this project was personal. He funded it himself. And the mural came together just days after Maka died.
So I got here at 5 p.m. and I left here at 1:30 in the morning, and it was finished. But things like this and memorial pieces, something just gets in me, and then I kind of get in a trance. If I can't really recall painting this one, I just remember starting and then it's finished, and then I'm going home and falling asleep and sleeping for the next day.
Jimenez has painted murals for other legendary San Diegans, like NFL star Junior Seau and Padres owner Peter Seidler, both of whom left a lasting impact on the community. He said the zoo's recent losses deserve the same kind of tribute.
These animals in particular have brought me a relationship with my mom. They've given me, more reason to care about the planet. They've given me knowledge and excitement. Hopefully this is my way of paying them back,
The mural is at 17th Street and Market. Anthony Wallace, KPBS News.
That's beautiful. Anthony Wallace produces the KPBS Arts podcast, The Finest. You can listen at kpbs.org/thefinest or wherever you get your podcasts. 25 years ago, a small group of opera lovers brought the centuries-old art form to Tijuana. KPBS video journalist Matthew Bowler says the small company has had a big impact on Mexico's second-largest city.
Just off of southbound Mexico 1 in Tijuana, jugglers entertain drivers, and just below the din of traffic, if you listen carefully, you can hear a piano. Then singing from an office building above a furniture store. Inside, Tijuana's opera company, La Ópera de Tijuana, rehearses. For 25 years, Ópera de Tijuana has brought the beauty and power of opera to local audiences.
Opera is everything.
That's soprano Norma Navarrete. She discovered opera in college when she was 20 and joined the Tijuana company in 2004.
When I found this genre, I felt at home.
Jose Medina helped found Ópera de Tijuana in the year 2000.
And we converted the school choirs in opera choirs, and everybody it was really effervescent.
Looking back, Medina's memories are filled with both nostalgia and melancholy.
For 25 years, it's a lot of work, a lot of enjoying and suffering at the same time.
For Medina, opera belongs to everyday people.
I love Tijuana because you can eat from tacos to the most sophisticated meal you can think. So that's what I want for the culture.
Gerardo Gaitan is one of Ópera de Tijuana's tenors. He started singing with friends
Where we would sing for hours with a mariachi or sing for hours with a norteño, and it was just, regional musical Mexican music.
Gaitán says his mariachi days taught him how to project his voice in order to compete with trumpets.
Yo sé bien.
Now, Opera de Tijuana is celebrating 25 years of overcoming challenges to bring music to the people.
Sometimes it even feels that people are not interested anymore. That they don't care about the art, and we feel like we're alone in a vast ocean. But we carry on. We have no choice.
And for this company, that choice is to keep bringing great music to where Mexico begins. Opera de Tijuana is participating in a free community performance Friday at the Casa de Cultura in Playas de Tijuana. In October, they'll stage the classic one-act opera Cavalera Rusticana. Matthew Bowler, KPBS News.
Viva Musica. We hope you enjoyed this look at KPBS News this week. I'm John Carroll. Thank you so much for joining us.